Hello, 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 and welcome to a special edition of the Stephanie M. Seaton Sunday Show tonight. Tonight is a promotion night. I am so excited. I will have a couple of my co-authors dropping in to the studio here shortly, but I am so excited on this collaboration, trying to love them. We actually released this book early. It is now available before Christmas. So, Trying to Love Them is available on all major platforms. If you want to get your hands on the book in the Dallas area, you can go to the Doc Bookshop. Um, Available in pretty much all markets. So tonight we are going to be promoting this book, kind of giving you the 411, as they say, of um, the idea behind this anthology project. So many times when it comes to relationships, relationships can be very challenging. And Not only do we have the factor of trying to be functional in relationships when we came from brokenness and traumas and all these other things, but then with this book specifically trying to love them, meaning Black men. Black men have so many expectations, so many things that are against them. Let me say that. And we, as the women who try to love them, we oftentimes find ourselves trying to be the mother, the best friend, the counselor, the therapist, and so many other things. The soft place, let me say that, the soft place, because um, often we, and I say we, the men and the women, we have not been taught how to heal, how to recognize trauma, how to recognize cycles. And so we find ourselves going through repeated things in different relationships with people. Um, I'm going to read the synopsis of the book again, Trying to Love Them. Again, already available for purchase on all major markets. So, in the book, Trying to Love Them, this is a diverse group of women who have all delved into trying to love Black men. The chapters of this book are raw, but yet heartfelt, of trying to love Black men. And it uncovers stories of resilience. In this book, several of the chapters are talking about just pretty much the tenacity that it takes to love someone that may not know how or be capable of loving you back because of all of the weight that is on their shoulders, because of all the things that they deal with on a daily basis. And so it uncovers stories of resilience, faith, the complexities of relationships that are deeply affected by cultural and generational trauma. Okay. So each woman shares her recount of attempts to support, to understand, to nurture the Black men that were in their lives, and how, in the middle of it, not only did the relationship sometimes fail, but they often recognize their own pain, their own struggles, and were not able to emotionally get the things that they needed um, I guess you could say, in this cycle of trying to love Black men. And so we know that there are some amazing love stories in all races and all cultures, but we also know that there are a lot of stereotypes. There are a lot of expectations. There's a lot of pressure on the Black man. And so the title of this book came from just that, from personal experiences of, trying to love people that maybe didn't necessarily love themselves the proper way, and then we're expecting them to love us, and trying to love a person enough that if I love this person enough, then they will begin to love me back. A lot of the stories that the women wrote were along those lines. So we're going to be hearing narratives of love, of betrayal. Some of them are forgiveness. and then just the women longing for true intimacy from their partners who were not necessarily available or able to give that. Um, and so at the core of this book, it is more than just a collection of stories. It's a testament. It's a testament of the power of love and faith and compassion that we are able to experience in relationships. Because in these different stories, as you read them, you're able to see how you can be emotionally locked into a relationship, the good, bad, and the ugly, and you can be locked into a relationship and you can want it so bad, that you try to figure out, how do I love this person? What is this person's love language? You try to learn the love language. You try to learn where a person came from, things that they're struggling with, things that they're dealing with, so that you can help them to overcome those things. Um, in this world, there are so many expectations, and I'm talking about in the sense of even outside of relationships and love, stereotypes, unhealed wounds. We all struggle. Um, and so oftentimes it's not until we find ourselves in relationships with other people, whether it be a man and woman relationship, friendships, employer employee relationship, but so many different types of relationships will, I like to say it's, some people say poke the bear, but it's not poke the bear, but trigger. I'll say the word trigger. So many different friendships and relationships that you can be in will often trigger something inside of you where you'll realize you're not healed in a certain area. And so that is going to affect you trying to relate in those relationships, again, whether it's with a male, female, whether it's employee, employer, whether it's just friends, but all relationships can be affected by this. So I want to say all these women are so courageous to be able to be open and to bear themselves at, just being open and vulnerable with the stories. Um, I wrote 3 chapters in this book, and um, the very first chapter that I wrote is called Understanding. And in the journey to understanding, what I'm pretty much trying to do is trying to understand how to love a Black man, because most of my experiences in trying to love Black men were challenging and heartbreaking to me. Um, they sent me, through some very painful moments. Now, um, would I change anything? Do I not love Black men? I love Black men. I only date Black men. But we're talking about this in the sense of encouraging not only the Black men to show us, how to love you properly, to be open to love, but then not only that, from the women's perspective of different things that we've tried, that we've been through, but we also want to let you know when you're not open, when you're not vulnerable, um, it affects the women in your life. And so this book is not just for the women who wrote it. This book is for men and women, how how to look at this from the inside out. So trying to love them is for men and women. Let's make sure we clear that up. This is for men and women. It is available now. You don't have to wait until December 25th. It is available now. And so in chapter 1, I'm talking about how I found myself in a constant state of confusion, trying to figure out where I stood in people's lives because maybe they weren't able to express their thoughts and their feelings. Okay. Um, and that is an issue. In chapter 2, I want to welcome my co-author, Miss Crystal Robinson. Miss Crystal, how are you? How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. I just started and I'm kind of going through the first couple of chapters that I wrote, and then I will let you come in and talk about your chapters as well. Um, so chapter 2, I wrote about the desires to love him right. And when I say the desires to love him right, meaning what does he need? What do black men need from us? What kind of support do they need from us? What type of understanding do they need from us so that we can love them properly? And then chapter 3, I talked about the beauty of admiration. And this is pretty much just giving a shout out to how beautiful loving a black man is. Not, from your skin to the smell of your cologne. Like, I just love black men. I love you. We love you. We want to know, what can we do to compliment you? What can we do to help you to see us, as your safe place, so that you are open and vulnerable and transparent with us. We are not your enemies. We are here to be your helpmeet. And so in this chapter, the beauty of admiration, that is pretty much what I'm saying. It starts out, there is a unique beauty in admiring a black man, a deep appreciation that goes beyond mere attraction and speaks to something soulful and powerful. And I literally took the time to literally just think about the amazing features, the way that I have felt in relationships with black men, how it is no feeling like it, but we need you all to be open, and we need you to be vulnerable, and we need you to know it's okay to be emotionally intelligent. It's okay for us to see a tear fall sometimes. We don't think you're weak because you shed a tear. Am I right, Crystal? Help
That
me
is
out.
absolutely right.
Like, we want you to be vulnerable. We want you to be able to express yourselves to us. And, when you are emotionally intelligent, we fall harder for you because we're like, okay, that's going to help me to be in a softer place. Like, we want to, and I have my description of femininity is I want to feel pink and soft, pink and fluffy. And because I think of like cotton candy or something, right? And so, I don't want to have to feel like, I have to, do dot, dot, dot when I'm with you. In your presence, I want to just relax. I want to feel like you got this thing under control, but I need you to talk to me and communicate with me. What's your thoughts on that, Crystal, when we talk about the beauty and admiration of the black man?
That is absolutely true when you say you want to feel pink and fluffy. I
Yeah,
don't want to think, I want to be able to rest in you because
yeah,
for so long we have had to, be strong, carry the
mhm,
weight. And we are so excited to be able to just submit. I know
yeah,
that's this big thing that everybody's talking about now, but being
yeah,
able to submit, but you being able to take on the weight, right?
yeah,
And being able to work together to make that happen.
yeah,
100%. I adore you. The way you smell when you walk into the
yeah,
room, your
yeah,
leader presence that you have, we
yeah,
love that in our men. And
yeah,
we just want to rest in you and then love all on you.
yeah,
But you got to
yeah.
be able to receive the love that we're given, right? And
Yes,
then, and just like
yes.
one of my chapters, I talk about loving the shell of a man. I'm pouring into somebody who didn't even know how to love. And so I'm
Mm,
pouring into an empty cup that had a hole in it. Basically, there's
mm,
more as I poured, nothing was getting, it wasn't tapping into him. And
yeah,
so, no, we want you to have emotional intelligence. It is so important to really
yeah,
understand emotional intelligence and have vulnerability so that we
yeah,
can be open with you and feel safe with you and
yeah,
love on you. Because I love smelling on my husband's neck and just being loving on my man. So I understand how important it is, especially one of our
yeah.
black kings. So
Yes, yes. So let's go ahead and talk about your chapters. I do want to mention the first three chapters are my chapters, Stephanie M. Seaton. The next 4 and 5 are going to be Miss Glendoria Boyd. And then we move into 6 and 7, which are none other than Miss Crystal Robinson. So, Crystal, tell us about chapter 6, Loving the Shell of Him. You kind of touched on it a little bit, but tell us a little bit about that, and then tell us a little bit. Now, we don't want to tell them all the details because we need them to buy the book, but give them a little bit of chapter 6, Loving the Shell of Him, and then chapter 7, Smoking Mirrors.
so loving the shell of him is me telling the story of how I was trying to pour into and love on a man who's never received love before.
Yeah.
And I talk about how I would give everything that I got to a person that didn't know how to receive it and didn't know how to give it. And it even
Yeah.
talks a little bit about some of the abuse situations that he abused me, but I think there was more so that the pain he was feeling from himself, he just took it out on me and didn't
Mm.
know how to deal with his pain. And
Yeah.
so that's what Loving a Shell of him is really talking about. Just how I poured into someone who's never felt it, never had it, never received it, didn't know what
Yeah.
to do when he had those feelings, didn't know how to articulate that. And so it was really big for me to express that because it was something in me that thought, can I make him see what I need him to see or what I see in him? And I
Mhm.
tried so hard. And then I had to realize it's not me, it's not my battle.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I think that story rings true for so many of us. And I hate to say it, but in our culture, so many of us, we have this rescue mentality
yes.
that, if I'm a ride or die, if I'm a
Yep.
ride or die, and if I just stay in here, if I just hang in here, even though all this stuff is going on,
Yes.
if I just hang in here, he's eventually going to see me. He's going
Yep.
to know that I'm the one that loves him so much.
Yep.
And the thing that we don't realize is we're hurting ourselves in the process. But until someone actually recognizes that they're broken or that they have
Yes.
unhealed trauma, they will not be capable of loving us and seeing us and
Yes.
being who we need them to be. But you know, your story in this chapter, it rings true for so many of us. I've been there myself more than once. I'll be honest, being transparent more than once. Thinking
Yeah.
that okay, I'm gonna stay in here and this is gonna make it work.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
gonna give him what he didn't have and he gonna see
mm,
that I'm the one for
yeah,
him. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
yeah.
we were, and I had to look at me. It's like, what am I looking for? Have I
Mm,
always chased? Right. So it's something in me too that I attracted that type of person.
yeah,
So I was broken and I was in a broken place, giving
yeah,
somebody that didn't have love, didn't see love before, what I
yeah.
think it should be. And so it was like I was trying to pour into myself.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we were broken.
Yeah.
We never saw real love. Now that we thought we had a glimpse of it, we want to show them
Yes.
too. Yeah, we want to show them too. But all at the meanwhile, really dealing with broken and abandonment issues.
Yes. Yes. You are talking it. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And it took a while for me to learn that, like you said, experience in life, right? Because the next chapter is about somebody totally different. So it's growth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so Smoking Mirrors, Chapter 7. What is going on? Tell us about it, Miss Crystal.
Smoking mirrors, narcissist, love
Mm,
bomb.
wait a minute, say that word again.
Yes,
Narcissist. Yes.
narcissist,
Yeah.
love bomb. Um,
Yeah.
so I was like, I finally got it. I got the man. Yes, had me on cloud. Now forget 922. I can't come down from
You said
this.
Cloud 22. Yeah.
Forget cloud nine, and to find out it was nothing more than smoke and mirrors. It was
Ooh.
nothing more. The people, even the people saw the person that I saw in the beginning. Everybody will see, oh man, this is an amazing guy. This is a nice guy. This is a sweet guy. But behind
Yeah.
closed doors, and
Yeah.
the belittling that he would do, and the
Yeah.
shaming that he would do. And the
Yeah.
only reason I do this is because the way you acted, because of how you did. And then
Yeah.
when I get close to walking away, reel you back into what got you.
Yeah. Yeah. Been
So
there. Yeah.
it was all about that and the relationship that I had with the narcissist and how I had to get through that because again, it showed another broken part of me that needs to be healed.
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And I was attracting this. So at first I was like, I'm pouring into somebody. Then I got somebody to love bomb me. And I'm like, yes, Jesus, it's my time. And no, came crashing down.
Yeah.
So Smoke and Mirrors expresses and talks about my experience there with the
Yeah.
narcissist and two totally different people. And then, and my life is just, I've grown so much in trying to figure out and find me and the things that I need to work on in me that I can attract different. Because I do want that love, and I do want to love a Black man. I do want to care for him and cater, because I'm a nurturer, and I'm a
Yeah.
caterer, and I want to love and uplift and make sure that you know that you're cared for and loved for.
Hmm.
But I had to go through those experiences to learn a little bit about me. And I love
Yeah.
the fact that you got this book and it said, love, trying to love them, because we do. We want you. We want to love you. We
Yeah.
want to be there for you, but these are just some of our experiences. And it's one
Yeah.
thing I learned is I don't take them with me to the next one.
I love.
I just take the lessons that I've learned, but I
Yeah.
don't hold anything against anybody.
Yeah. So, a couple of things as you were talking, there are a couple of things that I got from that, and one of the really big ones is, like you said, we need to attract different, and the reason why we attract, you know, the people that we attracted that were broken, or the lessons, I should say, um, is because we had unhealed things in our lives. Because once we get stronger in Christ, and this is
Yeah.
my thing, once we get relationship with Christ and
Yep.
everything about relationship with Christ, that fixes our focus. And so once we get relationship with Christ and we find out who he says we are,
Mm.
we begin to see ourselves as that woman, as his daughter, him as our father.
Yep.
Then we're able to measure the men and the people in our lives, and then our taste changes.
Yes.
So when we're broken, and I hope that you that are listening really are listening to what I'm saying. If you are in a relationship with someone that is breaking you,
Yep.
that is manipulating you, that is a narcissist, you have to take accountability that you are allowing it.
Yes.
Because the reality is they can't do and be these things if you don't allow it.
Yep.
So the reality of it is we have to get to the place that we realize what we actually deserve, what we were actually created for through
Yes.
relationship with Christ. And then we can flip the tables. And like you said, we can move into the things that the Lord really has for us, and not take these things with us, but, take them internally as a, step stool to better,
Correct. Correct.
but not the brokenness. We don't want to take brokenness into new blessings and
Yeah.
into new relationships. So I'm with you, Miss Crystal. I love the Black man. I
Yeah.
love the Black man. Okay, I
Yeah.
cannot
I know.
do
You
I
said
cannot, yeah,
something.
I cannot do anything else.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
So
but
you
the
had said
reality,
something about what
huh?
we allow. I know in my relationship with where I was talking about loving the shell of a man. And I would
Yeah.
ask, like, why? And why you keep doing this? And one of those moments I was crying and going through it. He said, well, you
Yeah.
ain't left me yet. That was
Mm,
huge. That
yeah.
was huge because he was right. He was
Wow.
wrong for doing those
Yeah.
things to me, but he was so right because I stayed.
Yeah, that's the tough part, right? That's the part we don't want to hear.
Oh, yeah, that got me.
So listen, there's this phrase that says somebody's playing in your face. You heard
Yeah.
that playing in your face. So the reality is we let people play in our face, and then when they bold enough to say it,
Yeah.
because you can't unhear what you heard. Am I right? You could not unhear what you heard. So when we get to the point that somebody does something so profound, like they do it in your face, then you have to have a moment with yourself like, okay, Lord, you really showed me this 20 times, but this time I really saw it. Not only did I see it, I heard it. And so
Yeah.
I cannot unhear this and unsee this.
No.
And the sad part is, we'll eventually get sick and tired of being sick and tired and do something. But think about how many times the Holy Spirit has warned us before we
What?
actually see it and hear it and actually take action. Because if in just a moment of transparency, how many times had you thought it that he wasn't the one before he said that?
Um, uh, Probably every single time from the first time I met him. But I
Yeah,
was running from another situation.
yeah,
That's what happened. I just
that's
needed to
yeah.
be rescued from one,
Oh, I get it. I get it.
looking
Been
for
there.
something, and I knew it. He wasn't,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
I had 4 kids by him. We had
yeah.
kids, and then he had other kids in between our kids. We have kids by 2 different women that are the same age. And I
I
stayed.
got, I got
Like,
you.
so
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
Day 1, 2, 3, 4, sign
No, I
after
get it.
sign.
I get it. But you know what? When we know better, we do better, right?
Oh, 100%.
So when we get to the point that we recognize our value and our worth, then we're no longer bound by people we think we gotta have. We can actually
100.
learn we don't need those people. Let me read this comment here. We've got several people that are chimed in. Developing contentment and singleness will give you the ability to maintain wholeness in a relationship. That is from Dr. Annetta Jackson. That is actually one of my pastors. She said, "Good evening." Monica says she needs to order some more books. She is actually one of our co-authors as well.
Awesome.
Um, and then we have Miss Leticia Jones. Hello, Sora. And then we have Cynthia Ferguson. So thank you all for tuning into the conversation tonight. Tonight we are again talking about our new book, Trying to Love Them. It is available for sale now. We published early. You do not have to wait till Christmas. It is available
Yes.
now. This is a good conversation, Miss Crystal. Listen, like we were saying, we love Black men. This is not a bashing book. This is a
No.
book that talks about different situations of how we were down. We were there. We just
Yeah.
needed to know, how do we love you? What do we need to do?
Yes.
We need you to show up. We need you to be open. We need you to be vulnerable, and tell us those things. And then Miss Crystal just talked about chapter 6 and chapter 7, which were her chapters here in the book. And then we have Miss Amaya Carter. She wrote chapter 8 and chapter 9 of the book. We have Miss LaRonda Hamilton in the book as well. Miss LaRonda Hamilton wrote 2 chapters in the book. And then we have Miss Monica Trevino. Miss Monica Trevino wrote 2 chapters in the book as well. So we had an amazing, I mean, this is an amazing collaboration. You need, like I said, this is not just for women. This book is for men too, because you get to hear the inside information of how we really feel, how we really think. What do you think about that, Crystal? The effect of a man reading your chapters and reading some of our chapters. How do you think that could benefit a man reading this book?
Inside information. They can
Yeah,
get to understand how we feel when we're going through particular situations and some things that they can do differently as they go
yeah,
forward, or they can probably get some self awareness. Hey, am
yes,
I acting like this? Am I doing these particular things? And what can I do differently going forward? Or in my current
yeah,
relationship, it may bring that to light by reading
yeah,
some of that.
yeah,
Some may even just need to know it is okay to be vulnerable. Like, I really
yeah,
think that this would help both parties, maybe like a couple getting it together and spending some time and
yeah.
reading it and talking about it together. Hey, babe, what did you get out of this chapter? You
Yeah,
know?
I like that. I didn't even think about it like that, Crystal. But you know what? This could be a very good book for couples because it is giving inside information, and we are talking about, cause and effect. This is
Yeah,
the real deal, cause and effect, trying to love them, and
yeah,
stories of different women collaboratively coming together, telling their stories. And as Miss Crystal and I have said many times, this is not a book bash. This is not a bashing the Black man. This is talking about how we love you. We love your skin. We love your
yeah.
swag. We love you. We
Yes,
just want to know how to love you without hurting us.
correct. That was
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah.
Yes,
How
because
do we love you?
sometimes we do. We
Yeah.
lose ourselves and we hurt ourselves.
Yeah.
And so we don't want that.
We don't want that. We don't want that at all. We want to be able to love you and to grow. We
Yeah.
want to be able to walk in our femininity. We don't want hard love. We don't want ride or die love and
Struggle love.
struggle love. That's what it is. Struggle. Thank you, Crystal. We do not want struggle love. we want we want to be loved and adored and appreciated from the beginning. We want you to come in. We want you to be able to talk to us, communicate with us, let us know, show up for real. Let us know what you need. What do you need from us in your life? Where are you at mentally,
Yeah.
emotionally, spiritually?
Yeah. And if
And this,
they've been hurt, right? Because there are some
yeah,
men that they did try to trust somebody. And
yeah,
then when we got angry because we were broken as women, turned everything that
yeah,
they told us in confidence back
yeah,
at them. And like, well, now I can't trust you with my issues. So, but being
yeah,
able to have those conversations, and so that's why I think even just doing this as couples in a relationship, being able to
yeah.
have those conversations as a starter piece would help too.
What you just said, I've heard that before. I have a men's podcast on the brand on fourth Sunday evenings, and I've listened to the guys talk. And one of the guys, well, more than one of the guys, has said
Yeah.
that one of the issues they have with us as women and being open and vulnerable is that we take what they say in vulnerability.
Yep.
And when we get angry,
Yep.
we bring it back up and
Yep.
throw it at them.
Yep.
And we just can't do that.
No.
We don't want them to do it to us. And so we definitely can't turn around and do it to them. What do you say about that, Crystal?
100%. And I think
Yeah.
that's what we do because we don't know how to fight. We don't know
Mm,
how to have those tough conversations with each other. We don't know how
yeah.
to address the issue. So we do low blows versus trying to understand what the root cause is of the problem that we're currently having. And
Mm,
that's something that we got to learn how to do.
yeah.
Um, as women, as men, and people in relationships, period, it's just learning
Yeah.
how to fight in love and in a relationship, how to, communicate.
Yeah. I think the sad thing is we as women, our mouths. So let me give this
Our
scenario. Hello,
mouths. Did
Martha
you say
Station.
our
Hello,
mouths?
Martha. I'm finna say it, girl. I'm finna tell the code. Listen, a lot of times, and I'm just gonna be honest and real. A lot of times, we as women have raggedy mouths.
Yep.
I can't think of a better word right now than raggedy. I don't even know
Yep.
if raggedy is a real word, but
Yep.
listen. And what I mean by that is we can't physically hurt you. We can't physically go up against the man that we love that we're having a turmoil with at the moment. We can't physically go up to him and punch him, hit him, slap him. But we know if we poke him with our words, we can stab him or hurt him deep.
Yeah.
And if we have not walked into our position in Christ, let me say this,
Hmm.
if we don't have the position of a woman of God, if we don't have the
Yeah.
position of a woman who's under the control of the Holy Spirit,
Yeah.
okay, where we
Yeah.
don't just say the first thing that comes to our heads, then we will have a raggedy mouth because we know how to throw some words.
Yeah.
We throw
And,
words better than punches, right,
and
Crystal?
they hurt. People don't, but they, us as women, should
Yeah,
realize the same words that replay in our head that
yeah,
somebody has spoke over us. We don't think that we're doing that to them.
mm-hmm, yeah,
They don't think we're doing that to them. This is crazy, right?
yeah,
Word curses. So now I'm speaking that over the person that I'm supposed to love. I'm
yeah,
demeaning the person that I'm supposed to love, that I'm asking to keep me and cover me and protect me and allow
right.
me to be in my softness and in my feminine air, but I'm going to demean him when something doesn't go my way.
There you go. You said the key words when it doesn't go your way. And that's the sad part because in relationships it's supposed to be give and take.
Yep.
We want you as men to understand that we want to be your soft place, but we want you to be our covering. We
Yes.
want we want you to be able to confide in us, but we also want you to be able to listen, you know. we often want to do most of the talking, but we also need to be at the point that we share and we're not selfish. And I'm not saying all women are selfish. We're not. We're just talking,
Correct.
having a conversation tonight. But more often than not, we as women can be a little bit selfish, and we can use these words in ways that we should not use them. And so,
Yeah.
in order for men to be open and vulnerable, to want to tell us how they feel and what they think, and to allow us to know how to love them properly, we need to give them the opportunity and the space to do that in, right? Yeah.
And I know this is about the book, but that was spot on. We needed to hear that as women, talking to women, that yes, we do try to love them. And yes, we do pour into them and we
Yeah.
give them a lot of times our all. But there are some things that we do on our end too
Yeah.
that could, be poke the bear
Yeah.
and then get them to shut down and get them to
Yeah.
withdraw.
Yeah.
And then they become a shell of a man because now what they didn't receive when they were younger is now being shown back to them again. So will they feel as men, will I ever get the love that I deserve because I'm trying and it's still not happening out here with you as a woman? And so they just react because they don't know how to deal with their emotions either.
Yeah. I want to clarify something. When we're talking about trying to love them, and we're talking about open lines of communication in relationship, we are not talking about toxic love. Let me
Yes.
explain that. There is a difference between the love we're talking about tonight and toxic love. We are not encouraging toxic love.
Nope.
Okay. Toxic love is where you need to get as far away from each other as possible. It's kind of like what we were talking about with having the raggedy mouth, saying all the stuff. You break up, you have 2 days apart, then you're back together, and then you do it
No.
again, and then you break up again, and then you're back together, and that's struggle love, that's toxic love. These are not healthy relationships, and that's not what we're talking about. We're
Correct.
talking about having um, and I want to say Christ centered conversations. Okay. What I mean by that is I'm talking about two healed people showing up, trying
Yes.
to have conversations, trying to build family, and trying to be the best individual that you can be. So I just want to clarify that. You
And
know,
Christ has to be the center.
Christ has to be the center.
Yeah.
And in order for you to be open and vulnerable and see your own faults, the Holy Spirit has to be involved, because most of us, we're not going to look in the mirror and see nothing wrong with ourselves.
We
Unless,
perfect.
unless,
Period.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
unless the Holy Spirit points it out. So we definitely
And
want to
he
be.
will do that
Yeah.
before he tells you about your partner. The
Hello.
closer you get with Christ, he
Hello.
will point out, you'll go to Christ about what he did and what he didn't do. And he said, and what did
What
you
did you
do?
do? Yeah. What did you do?
100%. When I say God, I be like, for real? Yeah,
Yeah.
check yourself, Crystal.
Yeah.
Check
That's
yourself.
that was a good word, Crystal. That is so real. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Lord doesn't, he will show you yourself and how you could have handled it differently, what you could
Yep.
have said differently. And then we have to, like, again, accountability. We got
Yeah.
to own our stuff. We have to own our stuff. Well, I tell you what, this has been a good conversation tonight. We are promoting, again, trying to love them, available on all platforms, available in store at the Doc Bookshop in Fort Worth, as well as several other stores. If you Google it, trying to love them, it'll come up everywhere. Barnes and Nobles, Walmart, everywhere. Okay. Amazon. So make sure you get your copy. Several of the ladies are going to be ordering books and selling them at different events. And so they will be promoting on their different platforms where they're going to be at selling the book, Trying to Love Them.
Yeah.
What would you like to say in closing, Miss Crystal?
I would like to say again, I poured into this book and I joined this collaboration just to express two different experiences that I had with
Yeah,
two different people. But all
yeah,
in all, it funneled back to me and my brokenness and what I
yeah,
needed to do in regards to me to be healed so that I can attract differently. And then my relationship with God and how God helped me. Men,
yeah,
black men, We love you guys. We want
We
we
love you.
want this love. We want the affection. We want to be soft with you. And then
Yes.
this collaboration, this book here, it
Yeah.
will help you. It will help the woman. It will help
Yeah.
anybody. It's an amazing Christmas gift.
Yeah.
So I'm super excited to even be a part of it. So I want to say thank you to you. I don't think I've said it yet, but thank you for allowing me the opportunity to be a part.
You're welcome. And I'm so glad that you joined it. We have some amazing co authors on this project. And I just want to say, I love all of you ladies. Thank you all for being so open and vulnerable because the chapters, listen, they are amazing. You've got to, these ladies did not hold back. They really painted pictures where even, with me reading and editing, I was like, oh, wow, this is gonna hit some people because, like you said, more of us have been through what we've talked about. We've all felt or thought these things, and so again, thank you to all of the ladies that partnered with me on this project. We are going to close out now. I do want to let it be known I have a current anthology that I'm accepting. The deadline is, I believe, January the 1st. It is called Women in Ministry. If you want to be a part of this anthology, Women in Ministry, you need to hit me up, and we can talk and see about getting you in that anthology project. Again, it is called Women in Ministry. And pretty much telling your story about being in ministry and also what woman in the Bible do you find yourself relatable to? And so that's what we're going to be talking about in this anthology. It is going to be released around Mother's Day. So it will make an amazing Mother's Day gift. Okay. All right. Well, we're out of here, Miss Crystal. Thank you for
Thank
jumping in with
you.
me tonight. Thank you again so much for watching the Stephanie M. Seaton Sunday Show. Again, trying to love them. Available now. Men and women, get your copy. Thank you so much for.
If you would like to be a guest on the Stephanie M. Seaton Sunday Show, email Stephanie at stephanieMSeatontheauthor@gmail.com.